You know, you probably don't think too much about the vast, invisible world running right under our feet. It's this hidden network of pipes bringing us clean water day in and day out. But the choice of what those pipes are made of, well, that's a fierce, underground debate with huge consequences for our wallets, our safety, and for generations to come.
For decades, it's really been a two-horse race to be the backbone of our water systems, ductile iron and PVC. So today, we're going to put them head-to-head in the ring and see which one really comes out on top.
So in one corner, we have the heavyweight champion, Ductile Iron Pipe. Think of it as the seasoned veteran, descended from cast iron, known for just pure, brute strength and a track record that goes way back. And in the other corner, we've got the modern challenger, PVC Pipe. It's lightweight, it's flexible, and its big claim to fame is that it just doesn't corrode.
All right, so here's our fight card for today. We're going to go round by round, looking at everything from strength to how easy it is to install, to the health and environmental impacts, and then the big one, how long it lasts and what it costs. Okay, let's get right to it. Ding ding, round one, strength and durability. I mean, if you're going to bury something in the ground for 100 years, you better be sure it can take a beating, right? So, the real question here is, which one of these can handle it all? We're talking immense pressure from shifting dirt, heavy traffic rumbling overhead, and those sudden, powerful surges in water pressure.
Well, the ductile iron camp comes out swinging, and they come out with some big numbers. According to their research association, this stuff has over 13 times the impact strength, that's, resistance to getting hit, and 9 times the tensile strength of PVC. Their whole argument is that its strength is a constant. It doesn't care about time or temperature.
And you can really see that difference right here. I mean, look at this chart. It's not even close. Based on industry standards, ductile iron is rated at 60,000 pounds per square inch, while PVC is way down at just 7,000. That is a massive gap, and it's pretty central to the whole argument for iron. And to really hammer the point home, the DI folks love to pull out this quote, even attributing it to the PVC industry itself. The key phrase here, limited resistance to those big pressure surges, like when a fire hydrant gets opened or closed really fast.
But wait, here comes the counterpunch. The PVC side points to research from Utah State University, and it's a zinger. It suggests that today's ductile iron, which has thinner walls to save money, actually corrodes and fails faster than the old, super thick cast iron pipes it replaced. The argument is basically, what good is all that strength if the pipe just rots away from the outside?
Okay, on to round two, installation and tapping. A pipe's great on paper, but what really matters is how it performs in the real world, in the hands of the crews who are actually putting it in the ground.
So which material makes life easier and safer for the engineers and contractors out there in the trench? This is where the rubber really meets the road. Or, I guess where the pipe meets the dirt.
For ductile iron, the argument is that it's just simpler. It's more forgiving. You can tap right into the pipe to hook up a service line to a house, no special fittings needed. That saves time, it saves money. And because it's so strong on its own, it doesn't need the surrounding soil to be perfectly compacted for support.
And boy, do they have the visual to back it up. Take a look at this. On the left, you see a nice clean tap right into the ductile iron. On the right, this is a test from the DI folks showing PVC shattering from the same tapping pressure. I mean, that's a powerful image that definitely raises some eyebrows about PVC's durability in the field.
But PVC advocates fire right back and say, hold on a minute. Switching to PVC is actually a piece of cake. Utilities don't need a whole new set of suppliers or parts. PVC pipe is made to the exact same outside dimensions as iron pipe, so it uses all the same standard fittings and valves that crews have been using for years. And to counter that scary picture of the shattered pipe, they bring out the big guns with this number, 42 million. That's how many successful service tabs they say are on PVC pipes across North America. Their point is pretty clear. When you do it the right way, it's a totally proven and reliable practice.
All right, let's move on. Round 3, health and environment. This is a big one, because nowadays, the materials we choose have to be safe and sustainable, from the moment they're made to the moment they're retired.
So this round really asks the critical question, what's the total environmental footprints of each pipe? And are there any health issues we ought to know about?
Ductile iron's environmental argument starts right here. The pipe is made from up to 95% recycled iron and steel. That makes it one of the most recycled materials on the entire planet. And at the end of its life, it can just be recycled all over again.
And from there, the DI camp goes on the attack. They're quick to point out that PVC is a plastic, right? It's made from petrochemicals.
They raise serious concerns about the manufacturing process, which can release some nasty chemicals like vinyl chloride, and about the pipe itself possibly absorbing contaminants from the soil, which could then leach into our water.
But the PVC industry comes back with 3 really strong points. First, it's immune to corrosion, period. So you don't need any protective coatings or cement linings that can break down over time. Second, because it's so much lighter, it takes a lot less energy to make and to transport. And third, the PVC material itself is certified safe for drinking water, while ductile iron actually needs its internal liner to get that same certification.
Okay, this brings us to our final round, and you know this is the one that city planners and utilities are paying very close attention to: longevity and cost.
When you're making an investment that's supposed to last 100 years, the sticker price is just the beginning. The real question is, which pipe is going to stand the test of time and give you the best value over its entire life?
Ductile iron's argument is all about its history, its pedigree. Sure, DI pipe itself only came out in 1955, but its predecessor, cast iron, has been in the ground for over a century in hundreds of cities. Their thinking is that this long, proven track record is the best guarantee you can get for future performance.
The DI folks also argue that PVC is vulnerable to what they call a time-to-failure curve. Basically, the more stress it's under, the faster it breaks down. And they use dramatic pictures of these catastrophic bursts to say that when PVC fails, it doesn't just leak, it fails completely and all at once.
But the PVC industry counters that with modern science. A huge study by the American Water Works Association basically projects a service life of over 100 years for PVC pipe. They argue that comparing today's thinner ductile iron to the old thick cast iron is just not a fair comparison.
And on the issue of cost, PVC has a fascinating argument. Because its inner surface is so incredibly smooth, water flows through with a lot less friction. Less friction means the pumps don't have to work as hard. And over the 50 or 100-year life of a pipeline, that translates into potentially millions of dollars saved on electricity bills.
After 4 really hard-fought rounds, it is time to go to the judge's scorecard for the final decision.
So here it is, the tale of the tape. For strength, you've got iron's raw power versus PVC's flexibility and the charge that modern iron just corrodes away. For installation, it's DI's easy tapping versus PVC's lightweight and easy system integration. For lifespan, it's DI's proven history versus PVC's immunity to corrosion. And for the environment, it's recycled metal versus lower energy to manufacture.
So what's the verdict? Well, here's the thing. There is no single winner. The right choice is completely situational. It depends on everything from how corrosive the soil is, to the risk of earthquakes, to how much pressure the system needs, and of course, the project budget. The perfect pipe for Phoenix might be the totally wrong choice for Seattle.
And that really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. When we are building something that we expect to last for our great-grandchildren, what do we value more? Is it the proven, brute strength of a material with a long past, even if we know it has a weakness to corrosion? Or is it the promise of a modern material that's totally immune to corrosion, even if its 100-year story is still being written? That is the fundamental question at the heart of this whole underground debate.